Okay guys, now we get to the actual fun stuff, the conducting part of this. There's a lot of information that I want to give you, and I might not get to all of it in this short little video, but we will talk about things way more in depth on Tuesday when we go over the piece you're going to be conducting. I kind of evaluate where all of you guys are at, but I'm going to try to get as much information in this video as I can. So we're just going to start off first, just talking about your 4/4, 3/4, 2/4, and then your 1/4 pattern that you need to know to be able to do the steady tempo evaluation part of your audition, and just for life as a drum major. That's what you do, is you conduct in a pattern, and 4/4, 3/4, and 2/4 are most likely what you're going to be conducting in. If he throws at you some kind of funky meter, then we'll talk about that when it comes, but I'm just going to kind of walk you through just the basics. So your 4/4 pattern, it looks like this. I'm just going to demonstrate first, and then we'll kind of break it down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's a lot of different ways we can break this down. I'm gonna try to adjust. Oh, I'm gonna adjust the screen so you can see me better. But you have the downbeat part of your pattern, and you have the rebound. And so for drum majoring, we want to make sure that we are very consistent and we have a good straight line rebound. So 1 rebound, 2 is in, 3 is out, and then 4 is up. My camera's a little crooked, so it kind of looks like I'm, lopsided, but I'll do it one more time for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what your 4 pattern looks like. You basically want to be drawing an arrow with your pattern, so none of this swirly mess just yet. There's a time and place for that, but not in this pattern. For the pattern that you have to do for the audition, everything is very either staccato or marcato type conducting. So this is a 4 pattern. Also, keep your fingers together. Your thumbs are going to kind of naturally fall to the side, but it's more of like a, I'm screwing in a light bulb, hello, this kind of thing. Not super flat like this, but kind of like a little bit of a natural bend in your wrist and in your hand. Also, when you go down to hit the beat for your downbeat, there's a little bit of wrist action that happens here. So we want to make sure that we are having a flexible wrist, but we're also not, not too flexible. So kind of in the middle. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Okay, so then the second thing we're going to talk about is the 3/4 pattern. There's a couple ways to do this, but I'm going to teach you the way that you should do in your audition. So 3/4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you're basically drawing the arrow again, except without the middle part of it. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I normally would say, does that make sense? But this is a video. So some conductors stylistically like to conduct 3 like this. 1, 2, 3, where the rebound goes in. I think that's more of a legato feel. So for this part of your audition, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Make sure that both of your hands are even, hitting the same point every time. This is a good place to talk about. You have a tabletop or your ictus in front of you, which is basically where your beat should hit every time. So when I'm conducting, no matter what pattern I'm in, my hands need to come back to the same spot every time. A good way to practice this is to put a stand or a table in front of you and practice your fingertips hitting the same spot every single time. So no matter where I am in my pattern, my fingertips hit that ictus, hit that same spot every single time. So same for 4/4. If I'm in 3/4, I should be hitting that ictal plane every single time in the same spot. So that leads me into talking about 2/2. Your 2/2 pattern looks a little bit like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you see it's still a little bit of a check mark. It's not quite as harsh. It's kind of more out here like this. But you're hitting both beats. So it's kind of like a this type deal. All right, and then for the pattern specifically, you need to know how to do a 1/4, which is really self-explanatory. It's just 1, 1, 1, 1. So you're just hitting your beat on each downbeat with no other beats in between. So let me explain a little bit what this pattern looks like that you have to do for the audition. So basically you're doing 4 measures of 4, 4 measures of 3, 4 measures of 2, 4 measures of 1. And then when you get done, then you go into 3 measures of 4, 3 measures of 3, 3 measures of 2, 3 measures of 1, and then 2 measures of 4, 2 measures of 3, 2 measures of 2, 2 measures of 1, and then go back and do 1 measure of each, and then you cut off. So hopefully that makes sense. I would demonstrate it, but that would make this video a little bit too long. So I'm just gonna kind of try to talk you through it a little bit. So when you begin, they will give you a metronome. They'll give you a steady beat. Internalize it, keep it in your brain, and then when you start conducting, they'll turn the metronome off, and it is your responsibility to keep that steady tempo all the way through your pattern. So then at the end, they will check and see where you were as far as how close to the actual tempo you were. A lot of us like to fluctuate fast or drag a little bit, and so that'll kind of tell the people in your audition, Offord and Jones and whoever else is sitting in, if you're able to keep a steady tempo. That is so important as a drum major. You're the one setting the tempo of the band. So if you can't keep a consistent tempo, then the band's gonna be in trouble. So it's a huge part of your interview audition process. So a couple things that I'm gonna walk you through. So I'm gonna do my 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm gonna switch to 3. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, and then I'm gonna switch to 2. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, and then 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm gonna rise up on my platforms on my feet and come back down for the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, where I start over. So I'm gonna do that same thing, except 3 measures of it, and go all the way through until I've done 1. So the very end will 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, and then you'll do 1, and then you will circle off and down. So I'll show you what that last measure should look like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, circle off and down. So yeah, we'll talk about this a little more in depth in our Zoom meeting on Tuesday. Also, that's kind of a brief overview of what that's supposed to look like. So quick recap. You have 4 measures of 4, 4 measures of 3, 4 measures of 2, 4 measures of 1, and you do that same thing except 3 measures, and then 2 measures, and then 1 measure, and then circle off and down. This is really important for making sure you can keep a steady tempo. It allows them to take a good look at your pattern in all meters, so they're really going to be able to see what your pattern looks like, what your style is, what inconsistencies you have, where you're struggling in your pattern. And yeah, I think that pretty much covers that. The next video we're going to talk about is explaining cues, some basic cues and how to do them, and how to implement them into the piece that you'll be conducting. I know this is a lot of information very fast. I'm just trying to get you guys something so you have something to work with. And any questions I can take in our Zoom meeting on Tuesday. All right, thank you so much. Tune into the next video.